All right, LDBC, this is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, non-combat video. If you don't like them, cut the video off. Well, I don't really care if you do like it or not. For the people that hate this channel, why do you watch this channel? But, simple question, but you'll still watch it anyway. I want to talk about this because this is something that really hits me close to home, right in the heart. This police officer, this piece of shit that you see on the screen, he failed to go in and make an effort to protect the students, and I feel some kind of way about that because, I've told you guys a story. I've told you guys a story where, I told you I would lay my life down for an athlete in a minute. I would do it in a minute. And, it pissed me off because, here, me, I'm not a sworn police officer. I'm not a cop, but I've had a gun put to my head, by a guy that wouldn't let a kid out of a brothel, where she was in there tricking dudes. And, by the grace of God, he he told me just to take and go. To make the long story short, I was willing to put my life out there for a kid who I thought needed a chance at life. I was willing to do it, but this police officer, this guy wasn't willing to do it. Like, why do you take the oath? What is your pension? I guess your pension. Then I guess your retirement. I guess everything is more important than the job that you swore to do. I find it amazing that in the same incidents, you got teachers in there with families. Teachers in that school with families, okay? Teachers who they've been teaching for so many years, okay, that they, about to retire. They risked their lives. They shielded. They used their bodies to shield students. And this guy who got a gun, he couldn't even go into the school to even make an effort to put an end to that shooter before the thing got worse. Couldn't do it. And, I always wonder, what are the school resource officers doing when these schools are getting shot up? What are they doing? Because they don't ever talk about the SROs. They never, ever talk about them. They don't ever talk about them at all. And, I'm wondering, like, where are the SROs? I mean, are the SROs coming to the scene? Are they calling for backup? What are they doing? Because, if you're an SRO, you're supposed to go in there. That's the risky of the job. The SRO got an easy job, but man, if a school shooter come in, that's the one time that the SRO, he got to put his life out there. But no, again, you got teachers who they're taking the brunt of everything. I mean, the teachers got to worry about all the paperwork. The teachers got to worry about the discipline. The teachers got to, actually be parents to some of these kids that ain't got no real parents at the house. These teachers, they got to do a lot for these kids. I mean, they got to put in grades. They got to spend hours at school. They got to take work home. They got to do a lot of stuff. Call parents on their time, when they could be doing stuff with their own family. They got to call parents on the phone for students who, misbehave and disruptive. Like, they got to do that. And now the teachers got to put their life on the line. They don't have to, but the teachers, most teachers that's in the profession, they would lay their life down. They would put it on the line for their students to give their students a second chance at life. They do it. Even the ones that they can't stand and the ones that they don't know no better, they would give them a second chance at life. But this police officer, he just found it ridiculous to go in there. He hid. I mean, you had other students, you had teachers braver. You know what? Maybe these teachers should have been sworn in officers. I bet you if a teacher would have had a weapon like he had, I bet the teacher would have put an end to it. Guaranteed. I bet you a teacher would have stopped that shooter if they had a weapon. I'm convinced of it. But see, you can't tell me that this guy, and you can't make up no excuse. And you got one police officer, veteran officer, he trying to defend the guy. No. What do you mean you trying to defend the guy? The guy sat and hid, man. He hid. But I'm gonna tell you, it was a situation, and I'll never forget this, man. It was a shootout, man. It was a shootout. And I'm dropping off a kid in the neighborhood, and it was a shootout. So, we jumped out the car and we ducked. We got down, and I couldn't get to my gun. I couldn't get to it. But they were not interested in us. They were shooting at each other. So we just got down. We ducked. And then when we were able to catch a break, when the guys shooting the guns ran up the street, they were still shooting at each other. You can still hear the bullets. The police officer, he was sitting at the end of the street, and I stopped and I said, "Yo, man, they having a shootout down there." And this police officer, he looked at me. He said, "Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I got backup on the way or something like." And I'm like, "Yo, man, I think people over there getting killed, man. Like, seriously." Dude would not go down there and engage those shooters. He wouldn't do it. He refused to, He refused to. And then, I said, well, are you going to call back up now? It's getting worse. He said, oh, well, yeah, I called him already and I'm going to wait for him. And, you just go ahead and y'all go to safety. And, and I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. There could be innocent lives right now down there. This guy, he went down there and did nothing. But, I find that kind of cowardly that these police officers, they're real quick, some of them. They're extremely quick. They're quick to pull you over. They're quick to pull you out your car. They're quick to, try to beat you to death or kill you, okay, at worst. They're quick to harass you over simple things like, like tags expired. They're quick to harass you over that. They're quick to harass you over a tail light that's out. Like they'll turn a simple, hey, your tail light out into, an arrest. Because instead of just telling a person, hey, why I pulled you over? Nope. You got to just, you got to create this hysterical craze with people. And then people get frustrated, and then they ask you a question, and then you get mad because they're asking you a damn question. So it's kind of like, well, okay, well, what, man? What is it with these cops? What are these guys, it's just like boxing. It's like the same thing. These young guys, this new generation of cops, these cops that's thinking about their pension, these guys, they don't want to engage. They don't want to engage. They don't want to engage anything. Like, they just want to wear the uniform around and wear it around and harass people and mess with people. Just do that because they think they got power. But as soon as a real threat pop off, a lot of these police officers, they don't want no smoke. They definitely didn't want no smoke with Nikolas Cruz. They wanted zero smoke with Nikolas Cruz. They ain't want that work. This guy didn't want that work anyway. I mean, you a SRO. You know the perimeter of the school. Like, he even could have took a tactical approach, man. I mean, the perimeter of the school. You could have snuck up behind him. Or you could have at least got to the doorway, man, and took cover at the doorway and tried to pick him off. I mean, it's so many scenarios, man, that could have happened with this thing if this officer just would have tried. Nope. He was afraid. This guy was afraid. This guy, he getting school resource officer awards and all this other crap. But then when it come down to the come down, when it's time to actually get down and get dirty and make something happen, this guy's a coward, man. He's a bona fide coward. I ain't got no respect for this dude, man. I got zero respect for this dude. This guy should have been arrested, man. Yeah, but what if it was you? What if it was you, coach? Yeah, if it was me, I'd have laid my life down. Because you know what? Sometimes I just don't give two Fs. And for a child, yeah, I sure will. I try to get my gun, or I do what I got to do. But, you can't, man, I don't even know how you can swear in, man, and you can't have that mentality. But see, there's no way that the police department can actually know, who is going to cut out like that. They just don't know. And I think this guy really started thinking about, man, what if I really get killed? What if my life is really, really over now? Like, what happens? It's a real threat. Oh, crap. What do I do now? You go in there and you do your damn job. You go in there and you protect and serve like your badge says you're supposed to. You go in there and do what you were sworn in to do. Your wife and kids, they know you're a cop. They know there's a possibility you might not come home, but that's what you signed up for. It is. It's a chance I might not come home. I signed up for dealing with these at-risk kids. And when I drop them into these neighborhoods, you don't know if a stray bullet gonna get me. And if it do, I signed up for it. I knew what was gonna happen. See, I know straight up what's gonna happen. That's why I always carry a gun with me, but I knew what was gonna happen. These cops, man, yeah, they so tough, aren't they? They so tough. They can shoot unarmed black men and women. They can go and harass people, pull people out of their cars, taser people. They can do all this stuff. But then when faced with this situation right here, a real threat, not the community, a real threat. Well, this guy just, he felt threatened. And that's just the way that is. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you waiting on? Subscribe.